Welcome again,
All right,
to part 2 of our 2015 NBA playoffs preview. In the first part of this episode, we tackled the Eastern Conference pairings, matchups. To review that briefly, we picked the Hawks in 5, or I picked the Hawks in 5.
I did 4.
Ross picked the Hawks in 4. We both picked the Cleveland in 5, I think. Chicago in 6. And then Toronto in 7 as well. Now we move on to the Western Conference, where things look to be a little tighter, much more heavily contested. Things are much closer in the Western Conference. Let's start with the best team in the NBA right now. 67 wins.
67 wins.
82-game season. The point differential, points scored, points allowed has been just awesome. I think they're only one of a handful of teams to have that big a point differential. We're talking about Steve Kerr's Golden State Warriors. They've been awesome, but I think they will be tested. I think they're going to be tested by the New Orleans Pelicans in particular because Anthony Davis is the best player on the planet right now. And, that's no diss to Steph Curry, who's going to be the MVP. That's no diss to James Harden, who might steal the MVP. That's no diss to LeBron James, who's still an absolute beast, who might still be coasting through the whole season. But Anthony Davis so far has been just out of his mind.
Yeah.
So, I think he's so good that he can carry the Pelicans, even if he's going in with zero playoff experience. I think he can carry his team to maybe 2 wins in this series. I'm not a big fan of jump shooting teams in a 7-game series winning quickly. I don't think that's going to happen. So, even if Golden State has been crazy good on both ends of the floor, I think Davis and his teammates, you got Tyree, you got Drew Holiday, you got Eric Gordon, you got Ryan Anderson. They have a lot of firepower that I think they can steal 2 games here. What do you think?
I will agree pretty much with Anthony Davis being, I'm not ready to call him the best yet, but one of the best. I'd say top 3 easily. Players in the league.
Well, okay, fine.
He plays both ends. Okay, offense, defense, kaya.
Yeah, and he has that nice looking running jumper that I don't think Bogut or Draymond Green.
Absolutely not.
Neither of them has a shot.
Absolutely not. 2 games, I think. Kaya. I'm leaning on maybe 1 game. The way I see it, New Orleans still limped into the playoffs. Got lucky somewhat. Not sure if the Spurs gave the game away that gave New Orleans the win.
Wow, you think the Spurs wanted to face LA the first round? We'll talk about that in a bit.
Maybe not. At the same time, it's just hard to... If there is a jump shooting team that can win quickly and easily, it's the Dubs. Definitely. You heard about Curry making 77 straight threes in practice. 94 out of 100. Sa 2K, di ko kaya yun eh. Kahit sa NBA Live pa eh.
Wala, yung sliders ni Steph Curry talagang full-on malupit eh.
You ready to call, I think, Warriors in 6?
Warriors in 6, yeah. Warriors gonna win this, but
I'm gonna go with
write off the Pelicans.
I'm gonna go to Warriors in 5. Warriors in 5. I think Davis might have a monster 40-20 game. Maybe game 3.
Wow, talagang kinol mo. 40-20 in game 3.
In your links. Okay,
folks, remember that? 40-20 in game 3.
Playoff
debut. Yung Twitter handle niya.
Isa lang. 1 game
40-20. Hindi 30-15. 40-20.
Oo, di yan.
Ayos ka rin.
Combine yun. 3 and 4. But, sige, 1 game. I think they're not good enough as a team. Even though Davis is the best player, he won't be able to, I think, lift them into 2 wins.
Alright, we disagree on that, but we agree in fact Golden State's going to win that series. Okay, next up, this one is going to be, for me, I think, a little tight.
Really tough.
You got the Houston Rockets, who got 2nd seed, but the reward is they face a very dangerous Dallas Mavericks team that always seems to play better than their seeding. Remember, last year, they were the only team to push San Antonio to 7 games in the first round. This is a team that makes it a habit of playing better, turning it up a notch in the playoffs. What makes me doubt the Mavericks a little bit is prior to getting Rajon Rondo, this was the best offensive team in the league. They get Rajon Rondo, who at the time was the number 1 assists guy, and both their numbers fall off.
Why?
The scoring drops off for Dallas. The assists drop off for Rondo. Weirdly enough, it didn't seem like a good fit. But Rondo, historically, seems to play better in the playoffs. So we'll see how things go. Patrick Beverley's not going to be there for Houston. Monty Williams is not going to be there for Houston. Who knows? James Harden still has to prove himself in the playoffs. There are a lot of question marks for the Rockets. I still think because Dwight Howard plays really, really well in the playoffs, because they have Josh Smith, they got Corey Brewer, they got a good roster, really. I think they have enough to beat Dallas, but it'll take them 7 games to do so.
Okay, I think this is probably the hardest series to call.
Wow. Battle of Texas, baby.
Yeah, cross-state rivals.
Texas.
Dallas has been, again, you said typically good in the playoffs. Former champions.
Dirk.
Former champions. Okay?
Got Tyson Chandler back, baby.
I think the safe pick is to go with the higher seed. They have the home court advantage. They have a potential MVP winner.
And they don't have Chandler Parsons. Oh, but he's on the other team! So that's a nice little wrinkle in this matchup as well. Because a lot of people kind of blame Parsons for partly for letting Lillard win the series in last year's playoffs against the Rockets. So we'll see how that pans out this time around. It will have to be an interesting angle in this matchup.
But sometimes when you're looking at a close series, you have to, well, at least for me, I have to go with the best player in that series.
James Harden.
I will have to go with the Rockets in 7. Home court, best player. Imagine that this guy had, I think, 4 or 5 triple-doubles this year. Harden, typically ball hog.
Typically known as a ball hog, as a guy who plays zone defense. But he's really stepped it up. And again, he might even steal MVP from Curry this year.
So it has to be Rockets. Again, dahil lang, they have the best player.
Rockets in?
I have to go 7, I think.
Oh, okay, Rockets in 7.
I think we will all be shortchanged if it ends quick.
Yeah. Now, another series that I think might be even more difficult to call than the Houston-Dallas series, and will also go 7 games, at least for me, is San Antonio and the Clippers. When I found out these two teams were going to meet each other yesterday, I was kind of sad because I wanted these two teams to move on to round 2.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not going to happen. You have the Clippers, and there's very, very shallow bench against the defending champion San Antonio Spurs with an improving Kawhi Leonard, a healthy veteran trio in Manu, Timmy, and Tony, and their bench is deep as hell.
Yeah.
This is a matchup from hell for Doc Rivers and the Clippers. But the Clippers have a good trio of superstars. You got DeAndre Jordan, who's the leading rebounder in the league. One of the top 5 blockers in the league. You got Blake Griffin, who's going to be in one of the All-NBA teams. You got CP3, who's maybe top 3, top 4 as a point guard in the league as well. So it's going to be difficult for LA. Actually, they're not going to win this. For me, the Spurs, even if they don't have home court edge, they're just too experienced. They're just too deep to go down against a team like the Clippers. I think the Clippers can push this all the way to a 7th game, but they're going to lose it at home in that game 7 to the champions, the San Antonio Spurs.
Wow, that hurts, losing game 7 at home.
That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt so bad. And you know why? Because DeAndre Jordan's going to take maybe 15 to 20 free throws per game, because Greg Popovich has shameless when he does that hacka DeAndre tactic. No, when the going gets tough, you hack DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry, DeAndre. That's
as much as good a coach, Hall of Famer coach Greg Popovich, he will definitely do this if the need,
shameless but effective,
arises. Okay, so you call it Spurs in 7.
Spurs in 7, baby.
I'll be nice to the Clippers. I'll call it Spurs in 6 para hindi sa home court.
Wow! Whoa!
So that they will not lose it at home.
Yeah?
I think the Spurs will take it on their home floor in 6 games.
Spurs in 6 for Rolster. We'll move on to the last matchup in the Western Conference. Got the Portland Trail Blazers, who are literally limping.
Yes.
Okay? They're the 4th seed, but they don't have home court advantage, and they're going up against very tough, very motivated, but also hurt Memphis Grizzlies team. Ross, talk about this matchup. What do you think?
It's funny because for me, I thought the Grizzlies wanted the Spurs. Okay, so consolation prize they get. I feel an easier matchup going against the Blazers. Now, they're going to have lots of problems with an injured LaMarcus Aldridge, who still managed
Who's still doing really well.
Yes, who again is one of the 3 guys who averaged 20
He's
plus
capable
points.
of winning one game by himself.
10 rebounds.
That's how good he is.
There you go. So if we count it, 1 game for Aldridge, and of course 1 game for
D. Lillard.
Dame Lillard. Diba? So
The Dame.
counting that, no Wes Matthews injured, Nick
No
Batum.
Aflalo.
No
Batum
Aflalo.
100%. Aflalo out for a couple of games.
So
That's going to be bad.
that's gonna be bad. I mean, they can win, of course, pero count
and you
that.
can't win with Chris Kaman as your center. Right?
Count the part where Blazers don't have home court. It has to be Grizzlies in 6. At the same time, Marc Gasol has been playing. Actually, if you look at the numbers, look at his.
All NBA first team center, baby.
Look at the numbers. Gasol has been career high in points and rebounds,
Points
I
and
believe.
Rebounds in back?
Rebounds in
Okay.
back. Blocks, I'm not sure, but points and rebounds, certainly. So, Gasol is primed. He's
Jeff
ready.
Green has been a pretty okay
There
fit
you go.
so far
Jeff Green.
for Memphis. Mike Conley is going to be sneaky good again, like he always is. You go, Gasol's going to get his numbers. Zebo's going to get his numbers. Tony Allen's going to frustrate Portland. I think Tony Allen's going to be guarding
Dame Lillard.
for most of this year.
Definitely will see that happen. Okay, maybe crunch time, maybe a whole game. Siguro kaya whole game, but we'll see that. So, I think Grizzlies will have to take this. Sabi ko, 1 game for LaMarcus, 1 game for Lillard. Grizzlies in 6.
So we just to review, I picked the Warriors in 6. Rawls picks Warriors over the Pelicans in 5 games. I picked Houston in 7.
Houston in 7.
Houston in 7 also for Rawlster. I picked the Spurs over the Clippers in 7. He picks the Spurs in 6.
I'll be nice to the Clips.
And we agree that Memphis should dispose of Portland in 6 games. It's going to be a wild Western Conference playoffs this April. And I can't wait to get to the second round because it's going to be much more exciting and definitely much tougher to predict. See you in our next episode. Next episode, we're going to talk about the current PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals pitting the Talk and Text Shop of Texters and the Rainer Shine Lasso Painters. By that episode, we will have been done with the 3rd game already in that series. So see you next time.
Enjoy basketball this weekend.